Ba-doop. No, the cough is here. In this, the coldest of mornings. Who would have guessed? Oh. Alright, let us begin the art streams. We are back once again with more Eldritchrune stuff. In this case, I'm like, oh, I'll do a few character clean stuff. Well, that means I gotta put on Noelle's antlers first, because we keep forgetting to do that. So it's antlers time. And then we can get drawing. It's appropriate because it's very cold out. There is frost on the ground outside. It didn't quite snoo, but it tried to snoo. A snooze was attempted. Snoozies. Hello, thank you for coming. Hope that you are doing well. We put some antlers on this girl. Hope it is not too much coldnesses. Hello, thank you for coming. We're putting antlers here. Let's keep doing that last. Well, your big ol' antlers. Hello, thank you for coming. And we are working on some more Eldritchrune stuff. I don't have all of the roughs done, but I do have about 6 pages roughed out of 15. So that should be a decent enough start for today. If I somehow get through all 6 pages, then we'll go and do some backgrounds as well, because I still have some of that to work on. But I think 6 pages should be enough for us to draw on. Oh yeah, I have the antlers like in a thing that I just copy paste, because otherwise that becomes too difficult to deal with just for freehand. Okay. Also, this is one we're going to have to pay kind of close attention to what's on the special lines layer, what's on the regular lines layer, so I have to do my best. Oh, nice. I'm glad you had a fun time with friends. Did they have any trams on the decommissioned lines? Well, look, I already forgot her stupid thing. Gosh darn it. Caddy, I like your design, but it's complicated to draw. Must have been haunted. No, it sounds fun. I just wish my foot was feeling better. I have a call with my doctor this week because my foot has not been doing well. Which is really frustrating because I want to go out and do my walks. How do you half decommission something? Like, is it just used seasonally or something? Oh, half the line is still active, the other half is not. Okay. So it just stops early, I guess. Meanwhile, they're building another SkyTrain line here, and it's taken a while, but it is needed. Jockington, when will you show up in canon more? When will you grow a beard? For prophecy reasons, I guess. Is he gonna do it like at the festivals, like, I don't know, some kind of challenge? Just does it through sheer force of challengeness. End of the song. Chatty. Huh. Well, that's a long time. Good grief, that's like 30 years? Sheesh. You'd figure nature would, like, reclaim that by now. Is there, like, stuff growing over the tracks and stuff like that? I know, just, like, parts of the prophecy are all vague, and that's like, nope, Lancer will definitely say toothpaste boy. This is etched in time. Susie's like, hell yeah, he said that. I think the point of those panels is to be like, yep, this is accurate. This has happened, and it will happen again. I think that is the point of it. It's still a problem. I thought it was doing better. Like, I didn't walk for a little bit on, like, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do my usual walks outside. And it started to feel better. So I'm like, okay, that's good. Maybe it's, improving or something. And then I had to go walking for some stuff on Friday, Saturday. And it hurt when I went walking. And I'm like, no. Why is this happening? And that mainly it's like hurting on like the top and side of my foot, especially whenever I put weight on like the ball of my foot. Like when you're walking and you're kind of, rolling along your foot, putting any weight on the ball of my foot is what would cause it to hurt. And that is still the case. And that's bad because I want to walk. I want to do my walks outside. I barely go outside as it is, so it's kind of important. But it hurts to walk now. So at least this is not both feet, by the way. This is just like my right foot. I hope so too. I have scheduled a call with my doctor on Tuesday. So hopefully he can offer me some suggestions as to what the heck might be going on with that. Because I don't know what it is. Like, there's no, like, nothing you can tell from the outside. There's no, like, changing color or anything like that. It doesn't look like a bruise. It just super duper hurts. Like, standing on it is not too bad. And it's okay to twist in some directions, but not others. Whatever it is, it's specifically around, like, the ball of the foot. Well, if you're thirsty, you'll take what you can get. Water is best. Water is super important. Yeah, I like Susie's design. Even though it's just repurposed from Paper Trail. Your Paper Trail Nightmare. That's how it all started. Like, can you draw more of that? And I'm like, okay, sure. And then I just never stopped. I do actually think my favorite is Caddy and Jockington, though. I kind of like how they came out. Birdley's okay, too, except for his, so many feathers. Yeah, I mean, after this fight, they're probably going to be pretty wary about water. Like, yeah, why don't one of you guys test it first, make sure it's okay. Nice, nice. And the second and third sanctuaries are another songs I want to hear in like a concert venue context. Be cool. Make a water purifier. Did they have like ye old water purifiers? How would you have purified water in like medieval times? I feel like it was mostly just boil it. But that takes time. Yeah, ooh, a real orchestral scarlet forest, that'd be nice. Yes, we are at the Miss Mizzle fight. Or encounter, I guess. Not that much of a fight. Actually, let's do this on the special layer. I know that is the one problem. Like, oh, if they did an orchestral version, that'd be so cool. But on the other hand, I'm like, they'd have to take out so many songs because it's like, okay, how many can you fit into like a, what is it, like, I guess a 3-hour concert? Yeah, they never did another medium. I'm so happy they did Core though, because Core is like one of my favorites from Undertale. Also, I'm really glad they did Here We Are and Amalgam, because other songs I like that don't get much love. Oh yes, you can request doodle things now. The next page is open. You can be the one to break it in. Empty House, yeah. That one doesn't get much love at all. Yes, and Smash. I know, there's just like so many good ones. It's like, no, I need this one too, and this one, and this one, and this one. Yeah. Medley of normal fight music. Gotta cover a lot of... I feel like you at least have to have, like, you know, the fight musics, the boss battles, first area themes. Hard to pick. Yeah, I do like it when, like, songs that, like, share a leitmotif kind of get combined, like a Dummy, or Ghost Fighting Dummy. Oh, that would be freaky if we had a remix of Here We Are. Because I like Here We Are. On the other hand, I do like, you can do Death Smiling. Do you mind, do you have a preference for a desk design? Because I've done kind of multiple designs for her. Do you have any preference before I start? Please let me know. My Faint Courage design. Okay. People seem to like that one. I kind of like the other one more, but we'll do the Faint Courage one. Let me try and find a picture of that. Because... go back through my things. Because I don't know if I remember that off the top of my head. But I will find it. I'm pretty sure it's in one of these. I know many a design at hand. Many. Do I not have a color version of that? That's bizarre. Hold on. Open with... Fine, open it with that for reasons. Oh, heck off. Okay, I'm gonna have to open this in this one. Okay, that's in a separate place. That's in the commissions. And okay, let's open this. Huh, why is this one not colored? What happened to the color version? What happened to it? Oh well, here we go. I kind of feel like I would draw her older now. It's like she feels like a little young in this one, but maybe, I don't know, maybe she is that young. Like, oh, not that big. Like, where is this? Okay. No. She got funky hair. And kind of funky antlers, too. Ooh. I'm definitely curious to see for when we see what Des actually looks like in the future. Please show us the dust at some point. In the meantime, there are lots of fan designs for her. She got like Asriel anime hair. Oh, thank you so much for the gift sub. Thank you. I super appreciate it. Oh yeah, I love me my Susie. Susie will always be my best girl, but I'm excited for when we get more deaths. Hello, hello. Thank you for coming. Oh my goodness, so many emotes. We're doing a quick little sketch request here. It snood. It did in fact snood a tiny bit here, like a teeny bit of snood. Okay. Actually, I should put her legs in them. Should I do her without legs? Nah, let's put her legs on her. She deserves legs. I have to make her smaller a little bit, but there we go. Des being happy. How big? Oh, okay, cool. We did this at the appropriate right size, because these are about that small. As part of our... Alright, cool. We have broken in the new page with Des. There she be. She's going to be watching the rest of the stream and be like, hey, what are you drawing? Yes, I did see that. That was very cute. Hype train, holy crap. Alright, exclusive emotes. But it's not December. Yeah, I do think our next, our chapter 3 Dark World is going to be at, Asgore's place. That seems the most likely option for now. Yes, thank you for redeeming. Thank you for breaking in our new doodle page. Yeah, chapter 5. That's what I said, right? Did I say something else? Did I say it wrong? I do mean chapter 5 will be Asgore's place. I said 3. Oh, well, I'm stupid and wrong. Sorry. I mean chapter 5. I'm a doofus who doesn't know what I'm saying half the time, apparently. 3 was Asgore's home. Not anymore. Oh boy, poor guy. Yep, chapter 5 is festival. Basically, my thought is that they're going to be finishing setting up the festival. Somebody's going to be like, oh, we need to get oh, another gifted sub. Holy crap! Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you. I super appreciate it. Yeah, but basically my thought is that, okay, we're going to be going to Asgore's place because, like, they'll be setting up for the festival. It's like, oh, we need some flowers. We need to go back to Asgore's shop to get them. And then we get there and it's like, oh no, Dark World! And then we do the Dark World and get stuff. And then we basically launch into the festival at the end of the chapter after the Dark World. And that's where the shenanigans happen, and then we'll get a actual Dark World festival. I can't talk. A Dark World in the festival for chapter 6. But yeah, thank you. I super appreciate it. Y'all can use the emotes now. If I get more emote points or sub points, I can add more emotes finally. Meter go up. Meter go up. Alright. Good grief, we've only done one panel so far. That's okay. We're going. That is true. We have slowly yet surely been seeing new places. Yeah, I think we're gonna get the rest of the. We're gonna finish the game by like 2029. That's my estimate right now. Although I don't know if we'll be doing chapter 6 and 7 together or if those will be separate. It kind of sounds like they're gonna all be separate now. Although I imagine that the wait between 5 and 6 and 6 and 7 is gonna be torture. It could be. I wouldn't be surprised if Weird Root does end early and there's not really a Weird Root for Chapter 7. It is possible. It could go that way, but I wouldn't be surprised if it went the other way. And the bits. Good grief, you're being so generous today. Thank you. Thank you for your generosity. Birdley's like, holy crap. That's so generous. Huh, that could do it, yeah. I could see that prompting a visit to Asgore. So I'm sure Susie is still nervous after the revelation at the end of chapter 4, and she's like, "Oh, we got to find a way to stop the prophecy," kind of thing. But I do think we're gonna. I don't think she's gonna skimp out on the festival. I think she will be trying to do that. To early 20. Yeah, that sounds about right. I can see that. I would like to see Noelle participate more. I don't know if she's going to be in Chapter 5 Dark World, though I definitely think she will be in Chapter 6. Oh my goodness, the hype train! Holy crap! If 2017 and 2018 feel so far away, although I know they'll sneak up on us before long. Time is scary and trying to get me. Yeah, late 2027 to early 2020. I can see that, especially since there are people currently working on Chapter 6. Like, I think they're starting like a enemy and sprite design, stuff like that for Chapter 6. And Eldritchrune. Yeah, I guess it depends. I know people have been trying to work that out because right now it feels like, what do you mean there's only one ending? That feels impossible with the Weird Root. So I guess we'll find out. But thank you. Again, thank you so much for your generosity. I know I got to get started on some of the other stuff you asked for. This week, I just got to finish my work from my job, which I'm close to finishing, and then I can do that. What if the thing more is preventing it? I don't know. Generally, when people say there's something more important than reaching the end, it's about, the journey along the way. About making the friends and the experiences you have. Yeah, basically, I can see that timeline, Kingcraft, I can see that timeline happening for remaining chapters. Basically, I suspect we'll get, like, maybe a year and a half for each one. In terms of how long it'll take for us to get the new one, because Chapter 5 was already underway when, 3 and 4 came out, so it taking about a year for the next part, that makes sense. And then I can see like a year and a half for each other chapter. Evil Jackenstein, no! Yeah, what feels correct to me right now is that no matter what, the prophecy is going to come true. That's what's going to happen. We're taking too long. The prophecy is going to come true no matter what. But the whole bit about Susie having the white pen of hope, basically that can overwrite, the bad thing that can happen is what we'll be getting. That's what chapter 7 is going to be. Is Susie writing us a new ending, even if the other one still happens. I'm going to turn this around into something different. That's what it feels like it's lending itself towards. Susie's like, screw your fourth wall, I break stuff, that's what I do. Basically, chapter 6, Dark World, is, I think that's going to be the festival. I think Noelle is going to be the one to make that one, because I think she's due to make a Dark World, and that's what she's going to be doing, specifically for a number of reasons, but also to help try and save Rudy's life, because he's going to be in dire straits. So I think we'll have a Dark World at the festival. And then also that will lead into the roaring, because like having the outdoors may not necessarily cause the roaring, but like if that Dark World is still going, and then say the night makes another one, and then dun 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 betrayal, Chris makes another one, that was what will kick off the roaring, and that'll be like the end of chapter 6. And then chapter 7, I don't know. That could be anything. I'm not even sure on the bunker being a Dark World. Like, at least not one that we're going to normally explore. What is Hype Chest? Hype Chest? Okay. It gave me a doggy. Okay. It gave me a laughing doggy. Have a pupper. I do think the night is going to make the chapter 5 Dark World. Like, people seem to kind of assume that Asgore is going to make it, and I don't think that's the case. You got a doggy. Turns out it was already open. Dun dun. I don't know, it just gave me a little present, and it's like, here's a dog emote because of the hype train. I don't usually get hype trains, so I don't know what happens in them. Alright, after I finish this one with a Birdly, I have to do my stretch. What would you say if chapter 6 was in Sansa's shop? In, like, the grocery store? I think that might be kind of boring. I don't think that'd be very exciting. It's like, okay, here's the imagination you get from the grocery store, the convenience store. 7-Eleven, Dark World. Do you think we'll be able to save Des? I don't know. I think that's a 50-50. I think it could easily go either way. I want it to be save Des, because I think it would be really, I would like to do that. I think it would be really interesting if we got to see, how she interacts with the people we know now, get reunited with her family. I kind of want that. But I can also see it being a Flowey situation where it's like, sorry, this person cannot be saved. So I'm 50-50 on that. I think it could go either way. If it was in the hospital, I already did a hospital Dark World in Paper Trail. I think that chapter 5 is going to be the last normal Dark World, and that's the last place we're going to be able to recruit from. Like, there's going to be a point where we can't, like, recruit people and build up our town anymore, and I think chapter 5 is going to be our last normal Dark World in terms of like, let's go on an adventure, let's meet Darkners, let's recruit them kind of stuff. Which is why I think that'll be in Asgore's shop, because that's a place we could potentially recruit from. But I don't know about beyond that. You could do some cool stuff in other locations like the Holiday House or the hospital and stuff like that, but I don't think we're going to be in Dark Worlds where it's like a normal recruit situation. Which is why I think that Chapter 6 will be like the festival. Things start getting weird. Can you create a 7-Eleven Dark World? I don't want to drive 5 miles. They don't sell peppermint smoothies at 7-Eleven. You get slushies. Which I guess would be ices in this world, probably. Just the drink is icy and has Icy's face on it. I'll say, what are you doing? Yeah, Slurpees, that's what it wasn't slushy. Slurpee, you're correct. That's what they were called. They were called Slurpees. Yeah, it's like she might be permanently changed, but I do hope we can restore Des in some way. I'm kind of leaning towards maybe it's more likely that we will restore her in some way, especially if like there's a part of Chris's soul in her, and they're going to need that back. So if they're getting that back, they're also going to need it, either Des dies or we get, Des back as she normally is. But again, I think it could go either way easily at this point. But I do want her to have a second chance. Again, because I just want to see, like, how would she interact with, Susie? How would she deal, can she recover with what happened between, like, her and Chris and Noelle and all that stuff? Opportunities. Alright, I will be right back for one more stretch. Based on Sansa's shop. No! Alright, be right back. You gotta do one more stretch. Water. Alrighty, I am back. Oh, back in action. Also, if you're new to my art streams, I do take regular stretch breaks where I actually have to get up and move around and stuff, and that's because I've had problems with my wrist quite a bit in the past, and doing a regular stretch every half hour is how I help deal with that. Because if I don't do it, then my wrist gets bad really fast. I do this for any drawing I do, including work. So that's why I'm up stretching. I know, this is what happens when you get old. Stuff starts falling apart. It's very annoying. Yeah, I do like the idea of the parallels between Des and Susie. I agree that they're kind of foils for each other in different ways. So I want to see them interact, not just as Knight and the girl, but as just two, people. Yeah, that's another thing. She doesn't seem like she was well liked. I mean, it could be that she wasn't, people don't talk about her because she wasn't very well liked, but also because, they're just terrified of incurring the wrath of Carol. Kind of a combination of that kind of stuff. Yeah, I can do a specific pose. Just gotta explain it to me. Can you do baton from Tadpole Treble? Alright, let me go look that up. Where are you? Baton Tadpole Treble. Oh, it's just like a little tadpole guy. Just a little tadpole guy? Yeah, it's the nerves that get you. Okay. 2 characters might be a little bit much. Depends on what it is. If it's like, you know, Eldritchrune guys, then that's fine. Okay. She's going to be looking at Tadpole Treble. Hope I'm getting that right. Whoop. Was it like a little, it's like a rhythm game, kind of. It's just a little guy. I do it right? Sweet. Cute. Extremely cute. Oh, from Brawl in the Family. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. Nice. We're filling in the doodle page. Yes, very easy to draw. That's cute. Chris is tired. I don't remember how long the cooldown lasts. But it should not be that long. Get that kid a Slurpee! Yes! Man, we used to get Sherry Slurpees all the time. And I was like, a special treat. We're gonna go to the 7-Eleven and get a Slurpee. I know, I miss a good Slurpee. There are 7-Elevens here, but I don't think there's one nearby, so no Slurpees. No Slurpee for me. Slurpee's very good on like a hot day. It's too cold for a Slurpee. It's not Slurpee weather. Circle K. Did you? You might have. Yeah, is 7-Eleven like a regional thing? I know for some reason it's like really big in Japan, but it's like they have nicer 7-Elevens in Japan. Like in America, it's considered pretty cheap, whereas like in 7-Elevens, it's like a kind of more high-end convenience store. Then again, I think convenience stores in general in Japan are a bit more high-end. There are some 7-Eleven, but not many. Now, when I was growing up, a 7-Eleven close to my place always kind of smelled bad, like cigarettes. No, Chris not very keen on pie anymore. Their favorite food ruined. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, that probably won't happen, but I do hope that we see I do think that we will see Asriel at the end of the chapter. We'll finally see the guy. And Chris will be like, "No, don't look at that." Oh my goodness, thank you for the last of the bits. Thank you. Hatsune Michael. You used my favorite food against me, the most unforgivable of mother sins. Which, apparently according to the fandom, that's a her having a nice time with Sans, unforgivable mother sin. In this case, it's actually warranted. Should be forbidden from using pie against pie-loving Chris. Yeah, I do think we should see Asriel next time. Again, I think we'll see Papyrus, but not actually see him because he's going to be in costume, and so I'll be like, what does he look like? It's still a mystery. Just to drive you crazy. I don't know if she used to like them or not, or if she was just kind of expected to wear them. Because she's like, no, I'm not 6 anymore. So she used to wear ribbons when she was like a little girl. And, not anymore. Oh, all of the characters are like, screw you, gender. I wouldn't be surprised if they try. Like, Chris especially seems to be like, no, player, don't look at Asriel. Stop. Stay away from my brother. Stop it. Which is bad because the player is very much like, I want to see Asriel. Check in Discord. Okay. Let me see. I feel like Toriel might have had something to do with that. Kick-ass sword. Alright. I will give that a try. Actually, we're going to put over on this corner. They're going to take up the corners. Let's see if I can't do this. With one-handedness. Cool hair. I'm not sure what this is from. Trying to rotate this a bit so that no, not like that. It's a little bit better. Unless they kind of have like a big eyelashes. So sorry if I'm missing stuff. Oh, OC, sweet. Very cool OC. Exactly. The thing with Chris is that I feel like they've kind of given up on themselves and their future. They're like, well, I'll just bring things back to, you know, how it used to be, and then that'll absolve me of the wrong I've done. And then Susie's like, you don't gotta do that. There is a future for you. You know, if you believe in it. And Chris is like, oh no, I'm starting to believe in it. They weren't expecting that. The more I think about it, the more I am kind of on board the idea that what the final prophecy is basically that Susie is supposed to hurt and or kill Chris. That is what it's hinting towards. I've been a little hesitant to be like, okay, we can definitely figure out what the final prophecy is. I think that's supposed to be a secret, but based on what we know so far, if I had to put my guess towards something, that is where I would put my guess towards right now. I want to learn what Chris told. Yeah, I want to know too. I don't know if we'll ever know. But I really want to know just because, like, again, her reaction to it is not to get angrier or to attack them or anything, but just to, like, be kind of freaked out and leave looking sad immediately. I kind of wonder, like, is that the point where she went off to cry and Toriel found her? In that case, what did they say? Cool ribbons. Yeah, I feel like I know a popular one is that, like, Susie dies or something like that. Because definitely the final prophecy links to Susie. The ribbons are cool. I like the ribbons. There we go. Cool OC. Ah, stop it. Oh, she's very big. That's okay. I'm the girl. No, I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus. Ah, I'm trying to pull this thing back over. Get over. There we go. Yeah, my main thoughts are on that. Are that, okay, obviously the final part. Oh yeah, thank you for the suggestion. That's a cool design. I know I did it very fast, but still cool. And the girl dies immediately. Because, like, yeah, we know that it involves Susie in some way, because Susie's like, oh, do I do anything cool? Like, am I, what else is there about me in the prophecy? And that's when the final prophecy starts to show up. So it involves her in some way. And the other reasons why I think it might be she is harming Chris is because, one, Chris seems to have, like, gone into this endeavor with this belief that they're not making it out alive. There's kind of this self-destructive bent to them where they seem to kind of have, like, resigned themselves to it. And there's also the fact that Ralsei is like, oh, maybe we'll prevent the prophecy if we're just kind to everybody and don't get violent. And there's also the fact that Ralsei seems to be really hypersensitive to, like, Susie especially being violent. And I'm thinking about the part where, at the beginning of chapter 4, which is when especially Ralsei is like, oh no, I have to make sure Susie never sees the prophecy. When Chris gets hurt, when they fall through the glass, and Susie is like, oh, come help, Chris got hurt. And that seems to kind of freak out Ralsei. Like, that gets him running really fast. Is, oh, Chris got hurt and they were with Susie. And of course, Susie is going to be really upset by this because she's finally in the sense of like, oh, I've been picked out as a hero. You know, I finally somebody has wanted me to, you know, I'm not just a bad person. You know, some like this prophecy says that, you know, I'm going to save the world. I'm going to do good. And that's really important to her because everybody her entire life has been like, you know, you are inherently bad. And now she gets to the final prophecy. It's like you are destined to hurt somebody you care about. Yeah, I think that's going to really upset her and mess her up. You are destined to be violent. Yeah, exactly. Chris is like enthusiastic about Parrish. It's like, why are you enthusiastic about that? I feel like Chris is going into this knowing that, expecting that they're not going to make it out alive. I don't know, because it definitely seems like the prophecy also believes that Susie is the girl. I mean, certainly, Garrison, like, says that too. He's like, no, well, that's what the words on the wall said. I'm not super into the idea of like, oh, it was supposed to be, you know, Noelle now instead of Susie. In the sense of that, like, maybe it was supposed to be Noelle, but, basically, especially if, you know, Carol's having a hand in this, and especially if it's a sense of like, okay, if you know, the girl's supposed to die or the girl is supposed to, you know, kill the human or whatever, well, I don't want my daughter to be involved in that. You know, that's going to break her, so let's put in, you know, the bad girl that nobody's going to miss. Or that everybody will expect to be violent. Because I feel like, in terms of, like, qualifications, both Susie and Noelle are equally qualified for this position. And it's a sense of like, okay, because Susie was put into that position to become the girl she is and she has been the entire time, if that makes sense. Like, if Noelle had gone with them to, you know, get the chalk in the beginning, maybe like even the prophecy pictures would change to show it showing her, but because Susie was there, then she was meant to be there the whole time. Eldritchrune tomorrow. Very soon. I'm just not super big on the idea of like, oh, the prophecy, you know, shows that, you know, it was always supposed to be Noelle. I don't think it does. I think the prophecy is vague on purpose, and that if Susie was not supposed to be there, it's because somebody did that on purpose, knowing that she would still work in that role, and it was to, like, spare Noelle or somebody else having to be in that role. Because I guess the whole point of it is like, Susie is going into this thinking, oh, it's great to be a hero. You know, it's great to save the world and stuff like that. But the truth is that being a destined hero in Eldritchrune's universe sucks. It is not a good, it is a bad position to be in. You don't actually want to be a destined hero. So, if Susie is here, it's not because she's not qualified, it's because somebody is trying to throw her under the bus. That is my guess. Do you think she had the potential to do the roaring? Well, it depends on, you know, how the roaring works. I actually think Chris is going to be the one to set it off. I think that's going to be our big betrayal moment with Chris, is like, we've got a dark world going that Noelle started in the festival. Then the Knight makes one, and when they're trying to deal with that, oh no, heel turn, Chris makes one more, and that's too much, and that sets off the roaring. Ultimate betrayal. Another one, okay. Nudging a Sadie or Chris drinking a Slurpee. Okay. Let's do it. Oh hey, at least Chris got a Slurpee. do they find a Slurpee in the dark world? Doesn't matter. Yeah, I like the hair that way. Because the designs are cool. Drinking Slurpee out of a demon skull. Mm. I'm not sure how we would do that. I feel like we would have to be out of control of things in order for that to happen. Put Chris over here. Access to my 7-Eleven. Wait, he's got a personal 7-Eleven. Chris, can I have some of your Slurpee? I have to put these guys down a little bit. So we have room for our tadpole guy. Actually, yeah, we're going to move tadpole guy over a little bit so we got room. I don't know if I want to do all of her antlers here. It's very hard. Be an attack? Huh. I'm not sure that would work. Be interesting, though. There are so many possibilities. Chris is like, what's a 7-Eleven? Have any of the kids done a 6-7-Eleven joke yet? I don't know how you would do that, but I don't know how 6-7 jokes work anyway, so... What do I know? Slurp. There we go. It's pretty big. We might need to make this one a little smaller. Chris, can I have some of your Slurpee? It's blood flavored. Hello. Undo. Okay. We've already added 4 things to the thing. Chris absolutely needs themselves a cold beverage. True. Yeah, there are chocolate Slurpees. I'm pretty sure. Chocolate. Yeah, I'm definitely excited for all the new chapters. Even though I'm certain that like the cliffhanger endings for 5 and 6 are just going to destroy us dead. Like 4's ending is probably the nicest one we're gonna have from now on. Yeah, it's pretty cold out. I want to go for a walk again, but we'll see. I love From Now On. I like that. Good song. Yeah, chapter 4 is probably still my favorite so far. I liked it a lot. And it's pretty cold. And it's pretty chilly. Yeah, it's super fun. And I didn't even think they were going to do that, because I'm like, oh, I love Rude Buster. And then I hear that, and I'm like, oh, no, I love this a lot. And so far, I'm doing this correctly. I almost forgot your glasses, Jockington. I'm gonna go get a drink of water. It's gonna make me thirsty. Not my water. Oh. Do not read this comic if thirsty. You will regret it. Now Des wants the Slurpee. My one regret with stuff is I don't feel like I have the Knight and Des as cool in Eldritchrune as they are in canon. I'm like, oh, the Knight is just cooler. No, not my innards, my most of me. Eldritch Mismanaged? Is that the ship name for Miss Mizzle and Task Manager? Hydrate or dihydrate. Interesting. Mismanaged. That's really funny. At the very least, I think they would get along in Eldritchrune because, you know, Task Manager is obsessed with cleanliness. Water's pretty clean. How dareth you drink me? Oh no! Wah 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 wah. Wah wah wah. Oh no, ad! Alright, we'll wait till ads are done. And then I can talk more. Will we even see them in Eldritchrune? Yes, we will see both Des and the Knight. But in this case, they are not one and the same, like I think they are in canon. So I do think that Des is the Knight in canon. But that is not what's going on here. So, it's going to be different. This was started before we got chapters 3 and 4, so ain't not much to do about that. Yeah, exactly. The more I think about it, I'm like, yeah, Des is really the only option that makes sense for me. Not just in terms of, like, quote-unquote evidence, but, like, on a thematic and storytelling level, a narrative sense. So I'm sorry about missing the interesting question. Was there another question I missed? I will answer it again if I missed something important. Basically the basic rules for a string doodle request. Keep in mind I'm only going to spend, like, you know, not more than a minute on it, so it's going to have to go pretty fast. Obviously something that is safe for work. So you probably want to avoid anything that's too complicated. Kanako Knight! Oh! It all makes sense now! Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no big battle scenes. Please stick with, like, a, you know, a character or two. Yeah, at this sense, people, like, trying to be like, oh, it's Asriel, oh, it's wordy or whatever. I'm just kind of like, that doesn't work in my brain. I don't understand what you're talking about. I don't know, I could, of course, be wrong. We can always be wrong, but from the information we have right now, Just does not make any sense if it's not Des. And yeah, honestly, the main reason I don't think it's Carol is just for narrative reasons. I feel like Carol is going to be our primary Light World antagonist. She's already going to be doing some really scary stuff in the Light World. I don't think she needs to. I don't think she needs to double up, basically. I feel like I've been seeing a resurgence of Azrael Knight. I don't know what it is. I've seen a lot of Azrael Knight talk recently. But, like I've probably said earlier, the one concession I'll give Azrael Knight is I can absolutely see Azrael being the knight in a much earlier draft of the story. Like way back when everybody in Hometown was going to be human kind of thing. Like in the earliest drafts, I can buy Azrael having been the knight, and then especially after Undertale took off and, you know, became mega popular, I think Toby looked at that and was like, no, I'm going to change that. One, just because, you know, I don't want to do, you know, Azrael is the bad guy again after we did in Undertale. And two, like, if Azrael was not, that's a way more direct copy of Mother 3. So I think he decided to do something different. And for that, I think that was a smart plan. So I can see it as a much earlier draft in the story, not the case now. Oh, take on Transform Azrael. Oh, that's doable. But yeah, that might be hard. I'd have to probably like a costume thing, and that's going to be a little hard to do in like a minute, because that's like a design choices thing. Not impossible, just tricky. Yeah. But yeah, Rudy I really don't buy. Like, if the knight was Rudy, I would feel like I was lied to. I would feel like I had been misled. I think that's like the one choice that would actively annoy me. Like, I'm sure that it could be pulled off. Because you'd be surprised what people can pull off. Narratively speaking. But I think that if that was what it was, I would feel like I was lied to. I wouldn't be kind of unhappy. And I don't think we need to lie to, you know. Oh, I gotta take my stretch break. I just realized time's flying. I'm gonna finish this foot real quick. Time flies when you're talking about night theories, I guess. Okay. Oh, we're almost done. Good grief, are we still only on page 1? I mean, yeah, it's like, okay, you could technically do this. It could technically be a lot of, you know, different people. You can make those connections, certainly. But I'm kind of looking at it as like, in terms of the whole, like, does this work narratively? Does this work thematically? Does this work in the sense of, like, you know, relationship to the characters? Like, I feel like if, you know, I don't know, I'm just thinking of, like, you know, a Susie versus the Knight kind of thing. The way those two are being set up as foils for each other, I think would lose so much, like, punch if it's like, oh, it's, you know, Noelle's dad. Like, okay, so who is Susie to Rudy then? It's not the same thing as, like, okay, you know, this person who is so similar to Susie but also is so different. How they treat, you know, darkness being, you know, a key difference between the two. Fruit flies like a banana, haha. Yeah, Chris and Rudy versus yeah, exactly. If it was Rudy, I'm like, okay, then, like, why are Chris and the Knight imitating each other's movements? That's extremely weird if it's Rudy. If it's Rudy, like, what are we talking about with, like, the black deer in the sword root and the fact that Chris and the black monster mirror each other? I feel like the fact that Chris and the Knight, you know, are often mirrors of each other is saying something kind of important. Huh, okay, if yeah. Maybe the reason why Chris is blue in the Dark World is more of a page of a night sort of thing. I guess it depends on what Dessa's normal colors are, because we don't know that. But it would be very interesting if we see Des and her color scheme runs along similar lines to Chris in the Dark World. Not completely, because it just seems like she has, like, you know, the camo and flannel stuff that was going on. But we don't know how it's going to be. I'll have to look back at her room again. And I do like the fact that she has, like, kind of an aurora painted on her wall. A lot of stuff with darkness and stars. It's cool. Her room is cool. There's so much you can say just about the fact that how different it is just from the rest of the house. Like, even Noelle's room is very much leaning into, you know, oh, you know, perfectly, you know, trimmed holiday, Christmas kind of stuff. But no, then you get to Dessa's room, it's just like, nope, that's not what's going on here. Ugh. Alright, I will be right back for one more stretch and orange juice and stuff. And I'm back with my stuff. Cinema sensing. I don't know, maybe they don't have Google in this world. Maybe search engines are normal. Oh. Her strange and sad searches. Why is she being kept out of the loop so much? I am very interested on being like, okay, why are certain characters being kept out of the conspiracy loop? And that definitely seems to include Noelle and Toriel. And probably also Rudy to an extent. Rudy seems out of the loop. Sans murder 7-Eleven. No. Wonder how they're going to deal with that next chapter too. Gotta do something with that guy. Big fluffy kitty. I gotta do the meeting Caddy and Jockington scene at some point. I'm kind of trying to decide what to do after this scene, actually. Whether I should do the meeting Caddy and Jockington one, or the ERAM one, or maybe something else. I could see that happening. I could see the, hey, champ, wake up. And Chris is like, ugh. Kids like you should be going to the festival. Like, people will be like, Sans, he did the thing. He said the thing. I could see it happening. I'm going to do this on the correct layer. That is true. That is true. Asgore was the one. Well, Asgore was the one that said birds are singing, flowers are... No. Yeah, Asgore was the first one to say that. He was the one that said birds are singing, flowers are blooming. Kids like you should be outside playing catch. And Sans changes it to kids like you should be burning in hell. Sans, you're getting all of your cool, like, quips from other people. Random Earthbound cop. Even that's not even from Undertale. It's from Earthbound. Kids like you should not be bothering me, the cop standing around uselessly. Let's see. Cute! Very cute. That is true. Sans ain't the most original guy. He got kids like you should be doing this stuff from Asgore, got it from Earthbound, and then got get dunked on from Susie. Okay, are we finally done with this page? Goodness gracious, this page took a while. But we'll get through it. Ames is like, I'll be taking those. Equip some people. Yoink. Suspicious. Ralph says suspicious. How many to go? They're 14. Although I only have about 6 prepared for today, so. Evil Bubbles! Fucking Bubbles! This is a long one. I debated splitting this one into 2. Finally was like, no, we'll just keep this as one long one. Yep, there's still a lot to do. We put bug legs on your bowl so that you can have a bug bowl. But the ugly bug bowl. Yeah, this is a long one. A lot of them have been long lately. No more short ones. Maybe when we go back to the light world, those will get a little shorter, but I kind of doubt it. Come along to the ugly bug bowl. What a lovely time we'll have there. One and all at the ugly bug bowl. Blech. It's no fun unless you have like actual snow. Sleet is bleh. Sleet is not leet. True. This is a true fact. Ooh, snow. Yeah, there's frost on the ground outside, but no proper snow. Not yet, anyway. Stay warm in bed. Yes. Good day for it. In some ways, I'll say it's kind of harder to emote here than Sans is. Because it's all like a pretty limited range of what you can see in terms of expression. His face is one giant beard. It's all one big fluff. Void fluff. Until he takes off his hat, then it's one big fire fluff. Fire! I think you could do him in traditional art. I've seen it done. Yep, and turns into fire. So actually, once he takes off his hat, that's probably going to be even harder for me to draw because there's a lot going on when his face is on. He's in the fire zone, fire form. Too much stuff to do. Ain't that always the way? Always the way. And one thing I have like zero ideas on that people seem to come up with ideas for a lot. I have no clue what we're doing for a secret boss for chapter 5, aside from like it'll be related to Ralsei somehow. But in terms of what that is, I don't know. I mean, maybe, but like, in what way? Because Flower, you know, obviously, you know, very much born out of what's going on in Undertale with Asriel. So what is like Asgore ascribed one of his plants as like, you're my new surrogate son, which deeply upsetting if true. Don't do that, Asgore. the hydrangea, like in Twin Rooms. Wouldn't be much of a secret boss though, considering we've been seeing that there since chapter 1. Not hidden. And you remind me of Righteous Justice, and you seem like you had your head blown off. Which is a very weirdly specific thing to do. Yeah, my one deal, like, oh, the flowers are going to be like the 7 humans from Undertale, is that we don't know anything about the 7 humans from Undertale. The most we know is, okay, this is the equipment they had. They all reacted in different ways. You know, from the anniversary we talked about, you know, some stayed with Toriel a while, some ran away, some were violent, some were not. Understandable. And a virtue is associated with them, but aside from that, they don't really have much in the way of character. Yeah, I feel like if anybody, quote-unquote, waters them, it's Chris. But also, don't grow flowers in the trash can? That's gross. I don't know. I think there's plenty of room for both. We could have a section that's, you know, in the shop proper, and then in like a secret part of the shop that we haven't seen yet. She did. She's like, hell yeah, snacks. Well, she can't do that because they're darkeners now, and she cares about how the darkeners are. She's like, no, I can't eat that. That's a person. That is true. How did the cactus wind up there? Because it's not like we really went, you know, outside of the living room at all. Cactus is like, holy crap, there's a dark world happening. I gotta get downstairs. Wait, no, I'm too nervous to meet Chris. Never mind. Kind of feel like it's there to basically suggest, hey, by the way, plants can become darkeners. Just FYI. This might be relevant later. If there was some kind of word to describe their attitude, but but sadly such a word does not exist. Prince in a kingdom of none. I definitely feel like Ralph says, you know, oh, I'm the prince of this kingdom, but nobody else is here, kind of thing, is then kind of meant to be like, huh, why is Toriel depicted as a queen and Asgore is depicted as a king? Just like, that's both. Chris, please let us get... No, it's not. I'll also see, like, the teen zone thing is, like, they don't seem to want to... They seem to be afraid to grow up. They don't seem to be very keen on the idea, but they also seem to be like, I'm not a nerd. Too bad, Chris. You are a nerd. Accept it. I'm not a gamer. The thing is, I don't know if Chris has that much care for Asgore either. They don't seem to really, like, be all that tolerant of Asgore's behavior. Like, they don't like being hugged the way he does. Yeah, I think they are definitely upset that the divorce happens, but it's kind of hard to parse, like, how are they feeling about Asgore in that sense. Yep. Chris is like, dang it, I'm being controlled by a weeb. This sucks. I wouldn't say Asgore calms Chris down. I would say Asgore's like, reminds Chris, hey, you can't kill yourself in the bathroom. Things are happening. And Chris is like, fine, I guess I can't. They don't seem all that relieved. They just kind of seem, you know, upset. I altered this slightly. Woo, long finger. Asgore's hug is adorable, but I kind of feel like that hug was almost intended more for, like, us, the player, than Chris themselves. Because we were like, oh, instead of, you know, trying to kill us, Asgore hugs us, yay! And, like, we're happy about that. But Chris is kind of like, ugh, okay, kind of thing. Deal with it, Chris. I do at least feel like after the sword route specifically, Chris is like, oh no, the thing controlling me is playing a video game. Uh-oh. Which, kind of terrifying. I don't know what those seem like. Just Lynx is fine, though. Online. I don't mind. Not quite sure why I drew like that, but whatever. Yeah, I suck at Zelda, too. So, sorry, Chris. Sword route didn't go great for me. It went badly. Me fighting Eram being like, man, I hope this is the secret boss and that once I beat it, I'll be done. Nope. Nope. That is not what happened. They are fun. Here comes a lovely lady. Make sure to do this on the right layer. I'm going to lose track of the layers really quick here. I just know it. Oh, I'm sorry. It probably doesn't. Actually, are there any, like, what's the public transit system in New England? It's probably better than the West Coast. Chris, no, you shouldn't have drunk the Slurpee! In Soviet Dark World, Slurpee gets you. Coast bus. Yeah, I've never taken Amtrak. I've taken plenty of public transit in, like, Europe and Canada, because there it's also pretty good. Have a good lunch. Thanks as always for coming. I'm a water skeleton. That's how that works. I'm the most beautiful lady in the world. Okay. From Raiders, wait, which Raiders? Like Raiders of the Lost Ark or something else? We haven't even gotten to the part where Chris actually gets tired. that's neat. Raiders of the Lost Ark, okay. Alright, lurking's all good. Have a good lunch. Yeah, I don't even know if we're going to get to the pages where things go terribly wrong for Chris. It goes from bad to worse. I can't even watch the end of that movie. Like the melting effects and Raiders of the Lost Ark. That freaks me out too much. Where all the Nazis melt. Then again, it's fun watching some Nazis melt. Never a bad time with that. Yeah, the Raiders ending is creepy. And that's all practical effects, because they didn't have much in the way of CG back then, so that was pretty effective stuff. You love to melt a Nazi. Like, I also got freaked out by the one in The Last Crusade or whatever, where, like, he drinks from the wrong grail and then just, like, ages rapidly and falls apart and, you know, gets dusted and stuff. But all that's probably because rapid aging is one of those things that kind of squicks me out. He chose poorly. Exactly. He did not guess the correct grail. When I was younger, I had a friend that was really into like the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, so we had a whole bunch of Young Indiana Jones Chronicles on videotape that we watched. The main rule of Indiana Jones is the main baddies get a magic gruesome death and their big beefy underling gets a regular gruesome death. True. True enough. Oh yeah, I gotta do that in Wolfenstein. I've not played any Wolfenstein games though. I think Chris didn't like hugs even before this, but this is not helping. Oh yeah, last time we talked about the ants. The killer ants. No, not even Wolfenstein 3D. I actually played a lot less games from like early times than you would think, even though I should have. Boomer shooter streamer, that's not going to happen. I do not enjoy shooters. I've tried and they'd stress me out way too much. I don't have fun. I would be willing to give like Quake a try. Old school Doom, but I don't think I'd be good at them. We do love us blowing up a big robot Hitler. I still love the fact that one of the old propaganda shorts from Disney during like World War II is like, pay your taxes in order to blow up robot mecha Hitler, and like literally that's what happens. Taxes to defeat the giant evil robot. Thank you, Donald Duck. Also a short where we learned that Donald Duck's middle name is Fauntleroy. In case you wanted to know that bit of trivia. Okay. Guess who did this on the wrong layer? It's me! Look at that. How much of this did I do on the wrong layer? Okay, no. We can change this. Donald Duck does have a middle name, and it's Fauntleroy. Now you know, and that's half the battle. Half the battle against Hitler. The other half is your taxes. No, but the whole thing with the Der Fuhrer's face is that, like, Donald is... Why is it not going down? Hello, I want you to... There. Good grief, it wasn't collapsing my layers. Invalid numeric entry, get out of here. The whole deal with that short is like Donald Duck is having a nightmare about, holy crap, if I lived in Nazi Germany, that would be horrible and bad. Thank God I'm not there. But at the time period, although yeah, there definitely was, in the propaganda shorts, there was a lot of not great racial depictions. Not as bad as Warner Brothers, but quite bad. I know, I wish my taxes blew up the Nazis. That'd be great. No, that was a different short. Because I used to have like all those shorts on DVD. I don't know what happened to that box set. I don't have it anymore. But I got like a box set of all the propaganda wartime shorts. So somebody posted on Blue Sky or something recently. It's like, does anybody know about this thing with the 7 dwarves and them like merrily spraying DTD across a swamp in order to stop malaria? It's like, sure, the mosquitoes won't breed if nothing else will, I guess. But stopping malaria was considered that was a propaganda short back then, because yeah, please don't get sick and die. Also get your vaccinations. That's another one. Mostly also the propaganda shorts are interesting because they had a version of Chicken Little in there before like the other Chicken Little. Oh, good grief, I gotta stop for my stretch. Just realized, time is flying. As Chris is flying into the water. But yeah, their first version of Chicken Little, it was basically supposed to be a, hey, don't spread rumors and secrets, watch out for fake news, and don't panic people with, things that might not be true. Like, that was the parable. And it basically ends with Chicken Little and, like, all the other characters getting eaten by the fox. Like, bad ending for Chicken Little. Yeah, the fox and Chicken Little, basically the whole point is like, oh, be careful not to spread rumors because somebody might use that against you. And it literally is the fox tricks Chicken Little into believing the sky is falling. Chicken Little then coaxes everybody else to go outside the hen house, and the fox eats all of them. Like, couldn't it be a great fairy from Breath of the Wild? Wait, do they do that in Breath of the Wild? Do they yank you into a pool of water? Is that how the great fairies work? I haven't played Breath of the Wild, so I don't know. It could be. I mostly know Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Oh, okay. Today I learned. Have great fairies always been that kind of weird in the Zelda series? I mean, guess they have. In order to upgrade armor. Well, that's how you get out of the transition of, changing clothes. Something that's extremely difficult to do in a game. Oh yeah. Well, Starship Troopers is a satire around just fascism in general. I remember seeing like part of Starship Troopers on like TV once, and like because I wasn't really aware of what I was watching, I wasn't aware, okay, this is supposed to satirize, fascist societies. I was so weirded out and confused as to what was going on. I'm like, why is this movie like this? This is so weird. Ugh. And yeah, it kind of helps to know that this is supposed to be talking about something in particular. Same director as RoboCop. I haven't seen much of RoboCop, although I know that's also a very, very violent movie on purpose. Probably not the best thing to watch when you're a younger kid, you know, removed from context. And yet they're probably like, sure, let's do a RoboCop animated show. The kids love that. Well, they probably couldn't do that easily nowadays. Let's do a cartoon for the Toxic Avenger. Oh, Paul Thomas Anderson, or I think somebody else? Total Recall? Okay, I will be right back for one more stretch and all that stuff. Alright, and we're back. I just gotta have good remixes. Ocarina of Time. The poor man's Ocarina of Time. The enemy cannot open dark fountains if you disable their hands. You say that now, but Chris is being telegraphed to lose their hand. You say that now, but watch out. Watch out. This could be Chris. Who's this eldritch creature? This is Miss Mizzle. That's who we're dealing with today. It's going to be a tough situation. Also, hello, and thank you for coming. Miss Mizzle of the Pool, what is your wisdom? Die. Sergeant Zim predicted Deltarune. True. No, she is not as nice as Susie. But just saying something, because Susie is like, nom nom, I'm going to nom you. That is true, but also it's extremely miserable getting eaten alive by Susie. Not a fun experience. Yeah, exactly. I think that is what's going to happen, is that there is harm going to befall Chris. They are going into it expecting that they're going to lose their life. And instead they are going to lose their hand, which is still extremely sad because that is a symbol of their, you know, their ability to express themselves through music. But there are other options for that, and at least they are alive to express themselves. We gotta get our cute piano scene. Also, I just realized I didn't put, I need to put some antlers on Noelle there at the back. I forgot that. Where are her antlers? Get over here. Get over here, antlers. Chris is about to be miserable. I'm probably going to have to slap a good amount of warnings on this particular part where things are going to get gnarly. Oh no. You couldn't find your hand. I know some people think that it's referencing something that's already happened, and that could be the case. But I kind of feel like more it is foreshadowing something that is going to happen. Although, you know what? It could be both. No reason why it can't be both. Especially since, as time has gone on, I've gotten more and more on board that the idea of what happened with Des is that she fell into the lake, the icy lake, and there was ice over it, and either came close to drowning or about drowned, was lost in it, something like that. But basically it somehow involved the two falling through ice into the lake. Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically, in the way I originally did it was they were in the bunker and like Chris was like reaching out their hand to try and grab her and pull her up, but they hesitated too much and she lost her grip and fell. But if I were to redo that scene now, I think it would not be so much in the bunker as at the lake when it was frozen. Considering we have, all that stuff going on with water, seems to keep coming up a bunch. Water and ice, for that matter. Exactly. Hand plays caster. The whole hold breath thing coming up with Chris when fighting the knight, which is an interesting situation. I can see something wherein, like, this might be a way that she's not quite dead, but close to it, so Chris's soul is being used to kind of keep her on life support sort of thing. And heck, I was thinking, this even can relate to Christmas stuff. Yeah, darkness is a force tied to the water and the ocean. But this can even relate to Christmas stuff, because I was thinking, in terms of Christmas movies, there is the movie It's a Wonderful Life, wherein at the start of the movie, the lead character George Bailey, his brother Harry Bailey falls through thin ice into water, and George saves him from drowning. And then one of the things that Clarence the Angel shows him at the end is that because you weren't there to save your brother drowned. So maybe that means nothing, but just a little, oh yeah, there is that part of that movie thing that I was reminded of recently. Yeah, darkness is definitely tied to, like, water, the ocean, ink. Which is another reason why I think that People are like, oh, you know, the roaring is going to be titans coming through and stomping on the town, and I don't think that's what it means. I think in the dark world it will look like titans stomping on things, but in the light world it's going to look like a flood. We've had so much flood imagery that keeps coming up. So I feel like that's where that's heading. I believe in a thing called love. Just listen to the rhythm of my heart. And that also fits with, you know, yeah, with Christian symbolism. You usually know an apocalyptic flood is what restarts the world pretty much. Or at least, you know, carries over some parts of it that are worth saving so that you can build anew. We just need rainbows. Promise that it won't happen again. For realsies. Exactly, yeah, your heart is my arc, which will guide you the way through the waves. So much flood imagery coming up. That's my prediction. And also, you know, even more tutorials like, oh, I hope it doesn't rain too much before Azrael gets home. Carol really doesn't like it when it rains. She's like, I'm canceling school because it's raining too much. Sounds like thunder when it rains. Okay, we are done with this page. Finally. Drink my water. Chris gonna get drowned. That was kind of a difficult page to draw, but we did it. I hope she knows how to swim. She's at least on the track team. It's Miss Mizzle branded water. Do not drink this water. It's not safe for human consumption. In Dark World, water drinks you. Poor Fiji water. It's like 10% more wet. Are you ready to get wet? You say that, and yet. Also, Chris, nice long flowing mane here. Been a while since they've cut their hair. I think I'm gonna have to make like a brush just for bubbles for this part, because otherwise it's gonna be a little bit of a pain to draw all them bubbles. I was born ready. Like, already gonna have to be doing some funky things with just like the fact that she's kind of both in the water and part of it and separate of it and all at once, so we'll make some special brushes as needed. Who would cut their hair? Chris. Well, we know Chris tried on their own with the sword. It didn't go great, but they attempted it. Alright, thanks a bunch for coming, and thanks for doing the doodle. It's nice to break in the page. Nope, they weren't. They were laughing. I mean, at least it is just hair. It'll grow back eventually. Chris is like, well, then you cut it. Only don't. But yeah, gradients aren't hard to do. Most art programs can do them. Not difficult. Okay. Maybe we need to do this on an even larger layer. Woo! It's fun to do these kind of like wavy, watery lines though. Oh wait, Oh wait, no, there must be a text box over this. I'm like, what's going on with that? I just realized it's probably a text box there. That's why it looks that way. If you can't see something there, there's probably a text box. Which body part do I find hardest to draw? I would say something I could probably use more work on. Waists and hips. I feel like I always struggle with that, which is kind of important because, you know, well, all parts of the body are important. Probably could use more hand practice too, but could always use hand practice. Also, nose is kind of difficult. Yeah, hands are usually difficult because, like, they are complicated, intricate things, and also, like, because we see them all the time, every day, we know, like, kind of intrinsically what they look like. So it's, difficult to get them wrong. Yeah, Susie at this point, easy for me. I love to draw my Susies. My girl! My girl! The Gaster speaks in hands. You'll never understand me if I speak in hands, artist. Haha. Artist like, no! We'll discover your ways. Nope. That ain't right. I gotta keep an eye out for when I do my next stretch break. Woo! Long flowing hair. Alright, thanks a bunch for coming to the stream. Thank you for all the bits and the subs and all that stuff too. Good stuff. I'm gonna be so mad if I don't keep track of where the lines are on this properly. Please. I gotta remember the bubbles too. We'll do another thing for the bubbles later. How many humans have been to the Dark World prior to Chris? Quite a few. Quite a few. Enough that, you know, like, we've seen the results of such from other things. Now, they're not all coming from hometown, for sure. Or even the Empire. Just different places around the world. Can you fall in by accident? Yes. Usually not often by accident. Like, it's not like a backrooms thing where you just kind of slip and fall in. Usually you gotta try and get there on purpose, but it can sometimes happen by accident. No, it's not a backrooms thing. You don't clip through the wall. See, not being careful with how you're doing things. Dying of potassium deficiency. Gotta have your potassium. Yeah, Chris was sacrificed in order to get there. Usually it's done through some kind of ritual. Oftentimes it's actually people trying to get there on purpose, because they're like, oh, there's probably powerful things down here. Ah! They are, and they all want to kill me. Or sacrificing their children to get there, exactly. No one told me it would suck. Exactly. Actually, I think this might be wrong layered. Gotta be careful. Well, here you got a soul. You can give it to me no charge, right? So those human souls you guys got a lot of those. Willing to give us some? Pretty please? Pretty please? Chris is like, I already gave that up, please. Stop asking me. Yeah, don't you guys have like eight of those? 9? You can spare some, right? She's like, wait, humans can have multiple souls? Feast time. Always get that through a glitch in the Matrix. Yeah. Scooby snacks. Susie's like, those are tasty, but I like the actual body part too. Got like the, you know, crunchy outside and the chewy center. Susie snacks. Many snacks for Suze. Be like Scooby snacks except for Susie snacks. I do love the fact that she's like, oh, a rose. No, just eats it right in front of Noelle. Noelle's like, what? I feel like I completely lost track of when I was supposed to take my stretch break. Might just have to keep going until we get to when I would normally take my last one before. Okay. Oh, what's the doodle request? Yeah, I just usually try and take my breaks every half hour, but I'm trying to remember when was the last half hour break I took. I can't remember. No, I always stream 3 hours, but I take certain take my stretch breaks every half hour, and I can't remember when I took my last half. Like, I'm like, how many half hours has it been already? You can indeed redeem it if you like. Dante from Limbus Company. Alright, let's look that up. I can type, that is. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I do not like you, Fandom Wiki. Get lost. Good grief. I'm just trying to open the image. There we go. Ah, Fandom Wiki jump scare. Ugh. Kill it with fire. I know, I'm so glad that Undertale and Deltarune switched to non-Fandom Wiki. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. So, we are on page 3 of 15. We haven't even gotten to why Chris is tired. We're burning through time here, it looks like. Well, I'm glad they went through the effort. I imagine that was like a really time-consuming process. But, just from me personally, I'm so glad that happened. I'm so glad that we moved off of Fandom Wiki, because that was so obnoxious. And it's so much easier now to go look stuff up for reference reasons if I want to do so on the wiki. So, thank goodness. Okay. It's like, what if Tony the Clock was actually intimidating from... No, I won't be like that. Slurpee! Oh, they're not intimidating? Okay. Then they're just cool. Cool design. They say shucks. Oh, oh shucks. Yeah, I do use Spriter's resource sometimes if I wanted like a specific sprite. But sometimes just to like look up various things. It's faster to just go to the wiki. Sean, what are you doing here? Alright, cool design. Man, we already got like a, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys on our start for the next doodle page. That's cool. Awesome, thank you. Okay, before we carry on, I think I will go ahead and do my stretch here, and then that we'll just do kind of an extra long last session, since I forgot if I was supposed to do it earlier, but we'll do our stretch now. Can't eat memories when you have Slurpees. Memory Slurpees. I do have to do one more scene with Shaman Chris. That should be interesting. Should be a fun one. But I've got to work out what after this scene. I've got to work out what I want to do next in terms of which scene to tackle. Yeah, Eldritchrune Shaman always fun. Because I can do the one where they meet Caddy and Jockington. I can do the one with Eram. I can do the next meeting with Sham. And then there's like two-parter I got to do with Azrael back in the light world to make sure I cover some important lore and exposition and stuff like that, and also finally do some stuff with the knight. Won't be as cool as Canon Knight, but you know, gotta establish some stuff. Yes, the Garrison one is done. That one I finished a while ago. We put that up. Garrison has been done. The most recent one I put up was versus Tenna. That one was the most recent finished one. Which was very long because that was a big old boss battle. This is what we're doing next. This one will actually be happening, chronologically speaking, this is before the Garrison encounter. Probably not that long, actually. This probably happened, like, pretty soon before the Garrison encounter. Like, they went from here into the library maze. Library maze. Shaman Chris. I'm sure somebody's done that. Okay. Yeah, I needed a stretch. I needed it. I remember to do that. And also, I'm glad we got to break in the new doodle page today. Always good stuff. Alright, I will be right back for one more stretch. And water and etc. returning. Okie dokie. Alright, this will be our last session, slightly longer than other ones, because I apparently messed up my schedule, but that's okay. Here we go. I think it's so sweet, Susie learning healing magic. Oh. The last time I played Chapter 4, I actually really tried to... One, I wanted to farm some stuff from the Mizzles by embezzling them a bunch, because they sometimes give out good things. But two, I really wanted to try and train Susie on her healing as much as I could. So... did that. She wants to be a cool healer, true. In a way, actually, this particular Eldritchrune part kind of ties into that. Ties into Susie not being able to be allowed to do things to help her own way, and kind of learning to do that. Oh yeah, Garrison's fight is a great opportunity for that. But even like outside of that, basically. That's usually what I ended up doing in Garrison's fight anyway, was just healing a bunch, because I usually would not dodge well enough to throw a Rude Buster back and forth. Is he eating me doesn't help? She's like, but it could. I mean, you say that, but literally a later page is her eating Chris to see if that'll help. That's just a few pages away. Good grief, drowning scary. I would not want to do that. 15 heals total? Okay. I definitely did it that much then. Susie's trying to help. He's like, well, my main way of helping things is to eat them. Oh, interesting. You can do 5 of those in Chapter 3. How difficult is it to do those in Chapter 3? Because I know you have to have really high TP. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you liked the Garrison comic. Thank you. I was happy with that one. I know people kind of like expected a big battle, but I'm like, that's not going to work in this case. I want to do it just like this way, and I'm happy with how it turned out. Yeah, I did it mostly during Chapter 4. Okay, well that does make sense. Susie learning her healings. I do remember like there's like a part in Chapter 4 where like you kind of can't heal with her because the TP cost is like over 100%, and I'm pretty sure that's after Ralsei's like, hey, you can't heal Chris, you know, you're not good enough for that, and she's just kind of like, oh, okay, I guess I really do suck, and then just gets kind of devastated by that. Ralsei, no. She gets discouraged. I do love the idea that in the future she'll have like dragon fire that's healing. I think somebody did that in like a fan art, and I'm like, oh, that's such a cool idea. I hope that happens because that would be really neat. Like if she goes more full dragon, her dragon breath is actually like healing fire as opposed to like burning fire. I think that'd be really cool. I know, Ralsei keeps getting... Oh, speaking of foot in the mouth, I did this in the wrong layer again. Oh well, we can switch before it's too late. Rouse, I know you feel really bad about yourself, but you can't keep putting that onto other people. And also stop putting it onto yourself, too. No, I think it was Rouse was supposed to learn fire magic. And she already does know magic, it's just rude magic. With Rude Buster. Yeah, I think the fire thing might have been actually for Rouse rather than Susie. They're all messed up and they're trying their best. Oh. Poor Rouse. Poor guy. I like how Noelle's kind of set up almost as a, you know, white mage, but she's also got like kind of terrifying black mage powers. Isomancer. Oh yeah, if you find it, let me know. So I thought he was specifically talking about Rouse, but maybe he was talking about Susie. Yumi. Is there like a database for like interviews that Toby has given somewhere? I feel like a problem that the fandom suffers from, and by the fandom I mean me, I suffer from it, is being like, okay, I know Toby said that somewhere, but I don't actually have the source for it. And like a little database where I can like, you know, search for the source of something he might have said in an interview. That would actually be a really useful resource. Especially useful because sometimes those those interviews are like in Japanese for a Japanese magazine, and they need a translation for that. So, if that existed, that'd be pretty sweet. I would find that useful because I know I'm definitely guilty of that, of being like, I know he said that somewhere, and then like, where did he say it? I don't know. Like I just read it somewhere. This one was in English. I've been rewatching the 10th anniversary stream because I'm like, world is a crap right now. I really want some reminders of, you know, people who care about the art they make and the care they have for others. And 10th anniversary stream, very good for that. Chris drowned, not Ben drowned. Chris drowned. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put some warnings on this part, including for drowning. World is a fuck 2026. 2 million shadow guys recruited. This kid goes through a lot of suffering. Specifically in this part, there's a lot of it. Okay, we got all the lines on that. Don't we already have some Deltarune creepypastas? There's got to be even more of them. Like I know there's been a couple like fake ARGs that have gone up. Maybe not even fake ones. That's the other thing I need. I need to like go through all the Deltarune ARGs sometime just to see what other people have done for that. More useful resources. With multiple Noelles. Still on my fanfic. Like, I know at least one of the ARGs is like, or creepypasta ARGs is one where, like, you know, Noelle is aware of the weird route and aware of the player, and she's like, yay, help me get stronger, and is like, kind of forcing the player to do the weird route. That's one of them. Yeah, we're just gonna put the bubble thing here later. Ah, my work here is done. I've drowned a child. I hope nobody plays the, Song of Healing backwards around here. That is so many chapters. I don't know that link. Good source for summarizing ARGs, yeah. Like, usually, I like watching Nick Nocturne for summarizing horror ARGs kind of thing. But I know that recently I was watching a Spaceman Scott's video on, like, ranking analog horrors and stuff like that, and he mentioned, oh, wait. Instant Lynx Classic. He mentioned, the Deltarune one, and apparently there's going to be more Deltarune videos in the future, which I'm happy about because I like that video. That's so many chapters. That's so many. Not a nice lady. It's going to be an interesting challenge to color in, but we'll do our best. Alright, come back to that later. We're on page 4. Oh, I gotta put the antlers on Noelle again. Bah. Fine. Noelle, let's get your antlers. Get your antlers on, honey. We're at Grandma's. I have absolutely had that said to me in real life. Not the antlers, but the get your shoes on, we're at Grandma's. Or, you're driving to your grandma's place, but it's a long trip. It's like several hours, and you don't want to wear your shoes in the car. So you take your shoes off while you're in the car to, do various car things that you do when you're a kid. But then, after the long trip's over, get your shoes on, kids, we're at Grandma's. Okay. Now she's got her antlers on. Wanted to drink. Yeah, see, getting revived did not help Chris a bunch. Yeah. I've never been a big fan of Gatorade myself. I don't really like Gatorade. I know it's supposed to be helpful and good for you for electrolytes and whatever, but I don't like the taste all that much. That's when you have out your Game Boy, but unless you have an actual light on it, you're kind of squinting at it in the dark, trying to look at it anyway. There's sour apple Gatorade? Ugh. No. No. Ugh. Okay, Gatorade's okay if it's blue flavor. I don't know why you would do sour apple as a Gatorade though. Ugh. I'd rather just drink regular water. But yeah, I know about Powerade. I have never heard of sour apple Gatorade. I wouldn't call that a refreshing flavor. Sour apple is what I would give to sour candy. Something that's designed to kind of do the opposite of refresh you. sour flavors are supposed to like kind of, you know, excite you, I guess. They're not really refreshing. Yeah, better as a candy than a drink. I wouldn't. I mean, even as a drink, I'm like, this is not a drink. This is a drink that's going to be for like the sugars, not for refreshment. At least that's how I would see it. Maybe I'm wrong, but who knows? Like water. We're at the watering hole. The water hole? What's so great about the water hole? I'll show you when we get there. Oh. Don't mind me, I just have the entirety of the Lion King memorized because I'm a child of the 90s. Green apple. That's pretty much the same thing as sour apple. Green apples aren't really considered sweet. They're considered like the sour apples. Which works well if you're like, you know, making them into a pastry, because then that kind of balances out the other sugar. But just eating by themselves, meh. Susie doesn't care. She'll try a sour thing. I'm sure I'll eat it. Flavor whatever. Oh yeah, but like especially Lion King for me. We watched Lion King so much when I was a kidlet. Anybody here know how to swim? No? Burley's like, I'm a flying creature. I'm not a duck. I can't get in the water. I ain't gonna do it. Why is everything made of apples? It's apples all the way down. All apples, all the time. At least that's better than socks, like in Paper Trail. Why does it all taste like socks? Well, I thought that was an okay joke. I'm still sad that we got to chapter 3 and it's like, no, Ralph or Azrael stopped playing Yoshi in Smash. He switched. There's only one flavor out of bounds. We can't have other flavors. No, Eldritchrune Alvin. Not the bestest of guys. I kind of wonder what else we're going to do with Alvin and Canon. I do get the distinct feeling that he was kidnapped to prevent folks from getting codes, but I do want to see his reaction to the letter that Susie left for him. I want to know what he would say to that. Azrael became a Xenoblade 2 goon. Azrael, no! Rip indeed. Oh, is there another Mario Galaxy trailer? I'll have to check that out because I'm like, where's my Yoshi? I was promised Yoshi in the last movie. Rosalina's cool and all, I want a Yoshi. Hooray! Yeah, that is the problem. The people in the light world, they don't know that Chris is not dead. They assume that Chris did not survive the sacrifice. Was promised certain things by Carol, but was kidnapped by the night before Chris and Susie got to church. I can see that, yeah. I think definitely I don't know if he was super in on the plan, but I think if somebody told him, hey, we found a way for you to talk to your father again, that might be a really hard thing for him to resist. Yeah, the hammer is on the desk. I do think whatever's going on with Asgore is going to be a similar thing. Basically, Carol told him, hey, be in your shop at this point in time. You'll get what's needed, the last missing pieces to prove to your family that you were right. And he'll be like, okay. And then Dark World shenanigans happen. That is true. Alvin did tell him to stay away from the bunker. He was like, don't go near that. That's not a good place for a young human NB. I know. What do you mean you never played Super Paper Mario? Can't believe that Asriel ditched Yoshi. Do we know who Chris's main is? Who does Chris main in Smash? Did we ever find that out? Will we ever find that out? Susie, who do you main in Smash? If she has played it at all. We only know Asriel's. Yes, but I think Asriel was also like confessing on his own self. Because he was like, oh, I'm sorry for dropping Yoshi into the pit. I didn't want to, but Chris did it on purpose. Chris preparing for like a Kaizo run. Not time to ditch the Yoshi. Oh, gravitates towards Martha's Sheik. I can see that. Chris is like, no, I'm not a dumb gamer. I'm serious about this. I'm gonna play Marth. I live in Seattle, actually. Ba-dum-tsh. Chris is a speedrunner. Well, how the turntables have turned if you get a speedrunner controlling you, Chris. Actually, I haven't played Smash in so many years. I would suck right now if I tried to play it. No. I've always played Yoshi. I played Yoshi from the original 64 game and beyond. I've tried to branch out to some other characters, but mostly stuck with Yoshi. But I actually have not played Ultimate at all, so I haven't had a chance to try a bunch of characters that I would like to give a shot. But again, I haven't played Smash in like a decade or something, so I would need a lot of practice, actually. I would not do well. If you played against me right now, I would die. You skipped my dialogue. Yeah. I definitely played Melee the most. That was the one I spent the most time on, was Melee. A lot of 64, a little bit of Brawl. I haven't played any of Ultimate. But, I played a lot of Melee. I do love me some Greninja. That's one of my favorite starters. But something I used to do just because apparently I had a lot of time on my hands when I was a kid, just for funsies, is I would, you know, open up or pull up Melee, and then I would set it to, you know, I'm playing as a character, and then I would have like a really stupid NPC, you know, like a level 1 NPC character to fight against, and then I would just turn it on to like a basic stage, and then turn on like only Pokeballs all on very high. And then I would just like spend like 10 minutes just like grabbing and opening Pokeballs to like knock the NPC around with like the Pokemon that would emerge. And this was fun for me. But you know what? Pretty cool you have a game that can do stuff like that. Play however way you want. Even if all that is just summoning a bunch of Pokemon to knock an NPC around. Ooh. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry they changed that. They nerfed him. They nerfed him. My brother would play Ness a lot. Would beat me up with like Ness and Lucas, and I'm like, "Have you even played Earthbound? I haven't yet." And he's like, "No, I haven't played it." I'm like, "I feel like since you beat me up with Ness a lot, you're contractually obligated to go play some Earthbound now." You just changed a bit. Well, he would play Ness, but he would also play a lot of like Link and Sheik. Those ones came up a bunch. Huge Eldritchrune fan, excited to play it for the first time. True. True enough. What a choice, Rob. Neat choice, but I haven't even played Sora yet in Smash. Considering I've played like all the Nintendo-based Kingdom Hearts games, I feel like I should try it at some point. I never owned a Rob. I was the right age for it too. I just we did not have consoles growing up. My parents did not like consoles, so we didn't have a lot of console games. Didn't really start playing it regularly until Nintendo 64, and that's because a wealthy friend got one of my brothers that for their birthday. Felt too OP? Oh. You could be Sora, yeah. I want to give him a try, though. That's another thing I missed out on. Like, I didn't watch much AVGN. Probably should have been the right age for it. Instead, I watched the Nostalgia Critic, and we all look at how that ended up. I have a Nostalgia Critic, like, autograph. I'm like, well, I guess this is in my life now. It just happens that way sometimes. Good recovery, very important, yeah. Yes, I do. I do. A friend got it for me. Feels awkward now, considering I'm not really a Nostalgia Critic fan anymore. But again, I'm like, okay, I have this. Kind of grew beyond that. Decent amount of zoners. We'll see how much further we can get on this. I did try out some more of Bowser for a while, but he is difficult because he's so tanky. Not designed to jump super well. Whereas I was used to kind of being, you know, playing Yoshi, and Yoshi is very floaty. It's probably for the best that AVGN is less frequent because, you know, it gives you more time to spend on them. But yeah, I can't really go back to Nostalgia Critic videos anymore. I used to watch them a bunch. Now I'm like, I'd rather just rewatch like regular video essayists now, the people that kind of, you know, grew out of that genre and matured a bit. Oh, he did? Bowser got more fun? Alright, I'll have to try him out again. Well, I have to get Ultimate at some point. Bunch of characters I'd like to try. I kind of want to try Duck Hunt. See how Duck Hunt is. Like, who else do I want to try? I want to try Sora, obviously. I feel obligated to try Sora. That dog, exactly. Yeah, Duck Hunt looks a little fun. I haven't really tried like a, you know, combo character like Duck Hunt or Ice Climbers or Banjo-Kazooie, stuff like that. And that might be an interesting way to try and do stuff. That's his job, though. He's supposed to laugh at you. I guess I'd have to do Sans, but the problem is Sans is basically just like a Mii fighter, and I don't know, Mii fighters don't seem inherently like exciting. I guess the excitement is the fact that you can put a skin on it like Sans. Yeah, you say that, but as soon as he's playing is like, I'll eat them. This will fix it. Okay, I see what you mean. I guess Ice Climbers is like a true combo character, since that is like a using two characters at once sort of thing. Yeah, I don't know, especially gunners. I don't think I could do much with a gunner. You can't. You have to go through the bullets to get to me. I'd be willing to try Greninja, because I like Greninja. Wait, Rosalina and Luma are together? I always thought it was just Rosalina. Okay. I learned something new. I did not realize that Rosalina was a combo character. Oh my goodness, that is old. Old times. Oh, yep, sorry, we're just now finishing up. It's almost time for the end of the stream, but it's been a really good stream. We've been very chatty. We've gotten started on a new doodle page, which has had a bunch of doodles added to it. Interesting. I did not know that about Rosalina. Yeah, we had Slurpees. We had talk about, you know, Chapter 5, Chapter 6 stuff. Good times, but I think I'm going to have to stop as soon as I finish this panel, because I also need to rest my wrist. I'm going to do another stretch. And I can give you a little hint for one of the other pages I had roughed out, because Chris having a very bad time here. Chris going through it. Wait, nobody's done an official Luma plush? That sounds wild. How has that not happened? How did they miss that? It's a little star guy. That's kind of a note, like a no-brainer. It could indeed be titled Chris Going Through It. Completely accurate title. But you know what? That's kind of true in canon too. Chris also going through it. All the kids going through it. Well, we will see when we get there. I'll say like, I'll say difficult to draw from the angle where he's small, because then his face always looks a little like me. So I'm on page 4. I know. All three of them, I think, have a self-hatred problem. Just in different ways. I'm like, you all need to stop that. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to stop here. Whew. Yeah, as evidenced, things get worse for Chris. They do not improve. This turns out to have been a bad place to get a drink of water. And then further badness here. But yes, we've made pretty dang good progress. I'm going to keep working on this later this week, and this will hopefully get done. It'll definitely be done within the next 2 weeks, I think. Because I will have the time to work on it then. But there's still plenty left to do. We might work on this part a little more next week, depending on where I am in progress. But if I'm at the right place in progress, we might work on more of this next week as well. And we'll keep on keeping on. But yeah, this has been a really good stream. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you again so much for the gift subs and the bits, and the fact that we made some progress on the next doodle page. And the chatting and all that stuff. I really appreciate you guys being here and hanging out with me. It's always a good time. I think also next week for games, or this coming week for games, we'll start Outer Tale. I'll make sure that works. And that'll be fun. Another fan game to do. Yeah, I got plenty to do this week. I gotta go stretch my wrist now and all that stuff. Again, thank you guys so much for coming. You guys are the coolest. And I always appreciate chatting with you. I hope that the rest of your day goes really well and the rest of your week goes really well. It's not too cold. And I also hope my foot gets better. Anyways, y'all take care of yourselves. And yeah, I will see you all next time. Alrighty. See you later.